Hey, it's me again. Hey. Um, I'm back. I'm back with another Yap Sesh. And honestly, I've been thinking about this for like a hot sec. And when I say a hot sec, I mean a couple weeks. But I, like, ever since I made that last video, I just have been like, ooh, I could just keep doing this, you know? Like, I could genuinely just like start a little like, wow, my hair just like going straight into my eye. Um, like a little podcast video essay, like thing for you guys. Um, and I've also come up with a name for it, which I think I am going to call it uh either don't get me started or actually do get me started. Um, I can and I will get into it. How does that quote go? Actually, there's another way that it goes. Like,
I can go into heavy detail, and I will. I will go into heavy detail.
but anyways, I don't know. I've literally started accumulating like topics that I think would be interesting to talk about that I have thoughts on, um, and that I don't know. I kind of want to yap about, and yeah, this first one I think I do want to do like video essays that like involve research and have sources and stuff, like me pulling actual quotes from actual things that I've read, or clips from media that I've seen, or something like actual, like an actual essay that has actual sources. But today I'm not doing that because I don't know, because I'm home alone. Wow, crazy. Um, and I don't know. I was just on TikTok, and very first video that I saw, actually, I like think it was like the very first one that popped up, was somebody asking like, how do you have hope right now? Like, please, if you still have an inkling of hope, please tell me how you have hope, because I don't have hope. Like, she was like, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel right now. Like, there's a hole in the barrel. The hope's gone. And I do actually have hope right now. I genuinely do. And I have since June. Very beginning of June, I can't lie to you guys. I did also like try to make a TikTok about this in like June, and then I never posted it because I was afraid for some reason. Um but I don't know, things were looking rough. I was feeling rough. I was like, there's no point. We're cooked. We're fucked. Um and yeah, it's funny, other people will like tell you things and you'll be like, you're stupid. Like when people are like, oh, going to the gym actually makes you feel better. And you're like, no, fuck you. And then you start actually working out regularly and you're like, fuck. Oh, fuck, it does. That's like kind of what happened here, is like, I was, I was feeling very bad at the beginning of June. Just about the state of the world, about all of the news, and the news has gotten worse, to be honest with you. Um, it just keeps getting worse. Um, but like, I kept seeing people say like, oh, like, the one thing that's made me feel better is like being an active part of my community, being a part of your local community, like go to community events, network, actually talk to people in your actual community, not the online community, because there's only so much we can do for each other online, but the physical people in your actual community. And then I went to the protest, the No Kings protest. That was what, day before Father's Day, so it was like mid-June, like the was it the 14th? I think so. Um and that was, I mean, that protests do make me feel better because you're like in a large group of people that are all fighting the same fight. Um, even if protests don't necessarily affect real change. I feel like it maybe affects change within yourself. Like you know, like if it's a networking opportunity, if it's a way to help you learn about other people in your community, that's valuable. That's a valuable, you know, like even if it's not going to get the government or the legislature changed or whatever, like it's still a good way to connect with like-minded people. And I'm not saying that protesting is for everybody. And protesting, unfortunately, especially right now, is kind of dangerous. And you do have to like acknowledge that and accept that and be like, okay, well, I could get, you know, put in jail if I go to this protest. I could get tear gassed if I, you know, like I could potentially, I mean, I don't know if anybody's died here, but like it is like a real possibility, you know, like there could be some crazy person with a gun who doesn't like what you're protesting and shoots you dead on the street. That is a real possibility in the current world that we live in. But anyways, yeah, I'm not like, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I just want to tell you what I've done to maybe help you. Because but yeah, I just saw that TikTok video and I commented on it and I was like, get involved with your community. Like legitimately. And it was a thing that I had heard many people talk about, but also in terms of climate anxiety, which your girl has quite a lot. I mean, I literally went to college and I have a degree in environmental science. Like, I have so much climate anxiety that I decided to go to school to try to help the climate. You know, and then it just made the school just made it worse. This is what happens when I don't have like a script or anything. I'm just gonna go off topic for like a million years. But anyways, yeah, one of the YouTubers that I started watching, which I've talked about her before. Her name is Shel Bisley. Shel Bisley, I believe. I've been following her for years. I've been watching her for years. I was watching one of her videos and I'd heard this on TikTok, like from numerous people, like get involved with your local mutual aid networks, get involved, like be a part of your community. I am begging you to be a better villager. I am begging you. Like, and genuinely, like, I'm so serious, like genuine, like we should all be better villagers. We should be aiming to be better parts of our communities. And it will make you feel better, at least in my experience. But I was watching her video and she was talking about, or somebody, it was like a Q&A. And someone was like, how do you deal with climate anxiety? And she was like, the only thing that has ever genuinely made me feel better is getting involved with my local community, because then there's actual real people in your real life that you're interacting with that are fighting the same fight as you, that are like working towards the same greater good as you. And there are people that you know you can lean on because they are in your community. They are your neighbors. They are your friends. She had to deal with the Texas freeze and she had to rely on her neighbors because she, like, that you couldn't get very far. Like, they genuinely like couldn't drive like down their streets because they don't know how to drive in the ice, and they don't have snow plows, and you know, like de-ice or like salt. They don't have the infrastructure to deal with that, and so, you know, like you can walk across the street and go talk to your neighbor, and so like she was like, that made her realize that like you need to know your neighbors, even if you don't like them. You still need to be like you guys can be on opposite ends of every single front, you know, like you can disagree with each other, but at the end of the day, it's the people that are like close to you, that are near you, like physically near you, that are going to be your support system, and you are their support system as well. Like, those are the people that are going to keep you alive. And if you don't band together, you're not going to make it very far. Anyways, so I was watching her video and she was talking about that. And I also, at the protest, a man in a mask and a hoodie walked up to me and he went, "Hi, I like your sign." And I was like, this is scary. I was also in like a hat and a mask, and I had my kufia with me, and my sign said, "No one is illegal on stolen land," because that is correct. And anyways, he was like, "You just seem like a like-minded individual." And I have not joined his organization, okay? I'm still apprehensive of this because he was being real weird about it. He was being real sus. He was like, "Can we meet in a like a public area, but I'll wear a mask for anonymity and you can wear a mask for anonymity and we all go by not our real names." And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing that requires anonymity? Listen, I think some people might need to do that. I don't want to. I want to go help at my local community garden and my library and my food bank. I don't know what's happening with you. But anyways, so he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I think that you seem like a like-minded individual. Do you mind if I take your phone number so I can send you more information later?" And I said, "Sure." And so I gave him my phone number, and then he texted me like a day later, but he gave me a whole bunch of mutual aid network information. And that was so cool. That was very helpful. And yeah, I appreciate him for that. I really appreciate those resources. I have been using them. I have been like, I follow a whole bunch of our local mutual aid networks on Instagram. And I like, that's like kind of how I know if like an event is like happening. That was really helpful. And I will in fact say, being a community member, like being a part of your local community and like prioritizing community over capitalism and consumerism. Crazy. That's so crazy, actually. Like, me actually engaging in communism is making me feel better. Wow. I genuinely, I'm trying my best to engage in communism right now. I just, yeah, like, fuck capitalism, fuck consumerism, fuck the US government. I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be a community member. I am doing my best to be a good villager. And then another thing, it goes hand in hand with this. If you look at what POCs have been through, like what those people have been through over the course of American history, what we are going through right now is like, it's not good, okay? It's bad. It is very bad. Obviously, it's not good right now for the Latino community, the Latinx community. Like, it's obviously not good for them right now. There is racial discrimination, there is racial profiling, there is concentration camps, there are mass deportations. It's bad. It's very bad. Okay, I'm not saying that like, oh, it's not that bad right now. It's very bad right now. But as a white human being, like, I feel like the white people are all feeling very sorry for themselves. And if you just like look at history and look at the shit that other people have had to endure for the past, what, 600 years? 1400s? And it's, yeah, the past like 600 years. We'll be okay if we take advice from them, which guess what that advice is? Guess how they have survived all of the shit they've been through. They relied on their communities. They relied on each other. That is how they got through everything that they've had to be through. The indigenous peoples have survived the most abhorrent shit like possible. I've been really digging into like, because I kind of came to realize I know history, but on a very surface level. Like I know, like things that happened, but I don't know what, like I know that something happened, but I don't truly know what happened or how it happened or how fucked it was. Like how incredibly fucked it was. And so I've also been on a journey of education over the past like year, really. I mean, I started my themed reading in February, and I read The Color Purple, which that was a devastating book, but it was actually really good. Would highly recommend it. But I did cry like at least 7 times while reading it. But it's like, it's one thing to be like, yeah, I know slavery happened. Like, I'm aware it happened. But, like, do you really know? Do you really know what was going on? Or do you just know that it was the thing that happened? Because I've been on a journey. I've been watching Crash Course. I really like Crash Course. Okay, I'm going back to my high school roots. Crash Course is phenomenal. And it's like very palatable. I feel like they have like fun infographics, but they're also like, it's incredibly educational. It does a really good job of like explaining what was going on, but they also don't sugarcoat a lot of things. And there have been things that I didn't know about that I learned through Crash Course that I was like, what the fuck? Like, we might all be aware of the Tulsa Massacre. I think we are. But if you're not aware of the Tulsa Massacre, there was Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 1930s, late 1920s, early 1930s, and they were flourishing economically, and the white people didn't like that. And so overnight, they bombed with bombs the Black district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and destroyed it. And I don't know details because, like I said, this is just word vomit. I'm just word vomiting onto you. But they just destroyed these people's livelihoods, and their everything, their businesses, their houses, their lives. I know there was a death toll. I don't know what the death toll was. Just because white people are full of hate. Like, just the scum of the earth, okay? And, like, I am a white person. But, like, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? What the fuck? What? I don't get it. Why are we like that? Why are we like that? Like, the paler your skin are, the closer you are to the devil. Anyways, not all white people, but like, obviously there are some good people out there, but like, what in the fuck is, it's white supremacy. Anyways. I don't even know where I was with that. But there is a lot of stuff that I have learned through Crash Course, and I've been reading a lot of books, and I've really, really thrown myself into Indigenous history, because that, I feel like, is a history that I knew nothing about. I simply didn't know. Like, okay, I knew about, like, the boarding school era. I knew about the relocation era. Like, in terms of, like, I am aware that at one point in time, we Trail of Teared a whole bunch of people to Oklahoma. Like, I was aware that happened. And I was aware that we used to force Native children to go to schools And they were horrible, and a whole bunch of children died, and we buried them in mass graves and didn't notify their families, and indoctrinated them and cut all of their long hair off, and made them wear white people clothes. Like, I'm aware that that happened, but it's one thing to be aware of something, it's another thing to be aware of it, but surprisingly, because this seems incredibly counterintuitive, forcing myself to learn about like what other people have been through, what other like cultures, not necessarily cultures, but like what African Americans have endured, what Native Americans have endured, what Hispanic, like Latin immigrants have endured. We're not cooked. We're not. Like, humans can endure a lot. If you stick with your fucking communities, if you are a community member. And that is the thing about white America specifically, is they've made us so individualistic. They don't want us to, we're always fighting against each other. We're not supposed to be friends with each other. We're not supposed to be helping each other. They don't want us to. They don't want us to band together. And the thing is, it's like, this. Like, this is a thing that's, like, just said time and time again. But, like, and, like, I knew it, too. But did I? Even just, like, going to your local library. Like, I have been going to the library, like, once a week. I got today. I was so excited to find this. It's, can you see it? It's a lucky day collection, which means you can't place a reservation on it. You can't place a hold on it. It's just, if you happen to see it at the library when you're there, you can have it, but like I can't renew it. I can't, like, it says 14-day loan limit, 2 item limit per card, no renewals or holds. But like, dude. And I got another movie, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've never seen this. And either A, I could have given Jeffrey Bezos 4 more of my dollars, because, he needs more money. He certainly needs more money. Or I can support our local library system and watch the movie that I've never seen before, and I'm very excited to see it. Plus, like, this is such, like, a queer staple movie, I feel like. Like, it's crazy that I've never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'm very excited to watch this. Look at him. Anyways. But like, even just like that is being a community member as well. Supporting your local libraries, prioritizing going to the library before going to Barnes and Noble. Okay, and don't get me started, except for do get me started, because that's what this yap session is about, is do actually get me started. I will just start talking forever. I have already been talking for 27 minutes. But like, none of us like capitalism. None of us want to live under capitalism. So stop supporting it. Like genuinely, on the one hand, do what you want. But on the other hand, stop going to Barnes and Noble. Or stop at least going to Barnes and Noble first. Like, A, do you need to own that book? Like, what are you going to do with it after you're done reading it? It's just going to sit on your bookshelf. B, if you're going to buy the book so you can keep it, because there are books that I want to keep because I want to annotate them. I always go to Grassroots first. And I have found, like, every single book I've ever wanted to purchase at Grassroots. That's not entirely true, but most of them. Or, the first thing that I always do now, that I suggest you do too, is go to your library. And yeah, you don't get to keep it. You are on, like, the time limit for when you have to give it back. But, like, books are meant to be read. They're not meant to be shelf trophies. Like, if we want to have the commune, why aren't we making our community the commune? Like, that is communism. It's not just your local friend group. It's It's your neighbors. It's the people you don't like. It's your coworkers. It's the guy pumping gas next to you at the gas station. Like, if we were all community members, if we were all actually active members of our community, then we could go very far. But we've all been taught that it's every man for himself. And, you know, like, we haven't been taught to be communists. I mean, obviously, we don't live under communism, but most of us want to. And so I'm just saying, like, this is a good way to, like, be a member of your community. Like, the library system is a community resource. And I love the library system, and I will talk about the library system until I die. I love the library system so much, I'm contemplating trying to figure out if I can become a librarian. Like, that's a conversation for not right now. But yeah, like, also our libraries have been defunded and they're closing several locations because they don't have staff to run them. And I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate it so much because it's not just books. The library is not just books. It is so many fucking resources. Did you know that you can borrow national park passes from the library? I bet you didn't know that. You can borrow state park passes from the library. They have, some library systems have, like, physical, like you can borrow, like, camping gear from your library. Like, it's not just books. It's a place where you can just borrow so many resources. And they have, like, obviously they have like computers that you can use when you're there, and printers and stuff for people that don't have that at home. They have movies. They have music. You can borrow music from the library. That's a little weird to me because typically, you know, unlike a movie or a book, I do want to, like, listen to it multiple times. But I don't know. The library has a lot of resources. It's not just books. And I highly, highly recommend everybody go to the library and prioritize our libraries first. Prioritize the library over the bookstore. Like, see if you can borrow that book through Libby rather than purchasing it with your Kindle Unlimited. How do you not feel cooked? Start engaging in communism. is my solution. Start becoming a communist. Be a communist. Be a villager. Be a better villager. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It has made me feel so much better. And, like, force yourself to be uncomfortable and force yourself to learn the atrocities that other people have survived. Because once you know what other humans have been through, like, truly, you know, like, I don't want to, like, downplay anybody's, like, you know, like, oh, if somebody else is having a worse day than you, so you can't be sad. You can still be fucking sad, bro. It sucks. But, like, the African American population in the United States, the Native population in the United States, do you know what shit they've been through? Do you know what we put them through the entire time we've been here? Like, and they somehow, not only are they still here, like, they're still here, but they have a much, like, greater culture than we do. Like, they actually have fucking culture. They actually have, like, not only have they survived, I'm not going to say that they've thrived, because they certainly have not, but, like, they have endured, and they have persevered, and they, like, they still have their cultures, or they've created a culture for them. We have not created a culture. The only culture that we've created for ourselves is consumerism and capitalism. That is not a culture. But, like, African Americans have a culture. Natives obviously have a culture, but they have, like, a new culture that they've created through the fucking shit they've been through. Like powwows, and a lot of the dances and the regalia and stuff that they wear at powwows is from the boarding school era times, when all of, because that was the first time that they got to interact, like they were really like people from so many different tribes were all interacting with each other and sharing their stories and sharing stuff. And so powwows are like it's normally anybody from any tribe can come to a powwow, and they all share their stuff, and they've created new dances and new songs, and like jingle dresses are an, I want to say, Anishinaabe like original thing, but like every tribe like has jingle dresses now. And anyway, like they have been through so much shit. They've been through so much fucking shit, and they are incredibly depressed, and they have incredible drug and alcohol problems because they've been through so much shit, and because that is, you know, like that's gonna happen. They have really horrible mental health problems, but they're also still here. And they also still sing, and they still dance, and they still laugh, and they make great food. And, you know, like that is what has made me not feel cooked. That's it. It's simply learning from the oppressed people that came before us, who have survived, and who, despite it all, have maintained a culture and found joy in the despair. And how they did that was through community, and how I'm doing that is through community. And this has been my PSA. Go to some local mutual aid like things. I am going to continue to do community garden work because I really like gardening. I like the outdoors. I like being outside. I like being in nature. I like being in the dirt. But I also am going to do some like food bank stuff, especially coming up for the holidays. I really want to help with like the food bank, the local food bank. And yeah, I would also recommend, if you also feel like you don't like know history very well, it is uncomfortable. I have just like been sobbing for like months. Like really coming to terms with it, but like I feel like it is work that needs to be done. Like it is something that needs to be acknowledged, and it will maybe make you feel better. Because not because of what happened, but because of how they have somehow still been able to survive and to live. Like not just surviving, but like living, like to the best of their ability through what hell they've been through. And engage in communism. Engage in communism is my recommendation. Like, and I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm trying to be a communist over here, okay? Like, we barter, we trade, we say hi to our neighbors, we give directions to random people on the street. Like, those are my community members. Those are my fellow communists. And they might not know it, but they are. Everybody around us is. And we are all a part of a community, and we all need to acknowledge that and be a part of a community, and not just think that you're exempt from it. You're not exempt from it. So anyways, yeah, I hope that wasn't like preachy, though I feel like it was. And I feel like I don't want to come off preachy. I think I've talked about this, like, especially when it comes to me talking about like things of this nature. I don't want to be like, I am holier than thou. I don't think that I am. I actually kind of want to come here and be like, I'm stupid, actually. Like, the fact that it took me this long, and that it took me to, you know, like, for literally the entire world to be going to shit, for me to finally, like, come to these realizations is really sad to me personally. Like, really, bitch? Like, really, it's gonna take Donald Trump 2.0 for you to actually start being a community member and actually looking into history and stuff, like, really. But unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, the answer to that is yes. But you know what? Like, there's no time like the present. Like, it's better now than never, you know? And if you feel like everything sucks right now, maybe don't run from it. Maybe kind of, like, because, yeah, I feel like escapism, this is a topic for another day. But I don't know. I personally, for me, escapism hasn't been working for the past year. And so I, like, for a minute, I couldn't use escapism. I couldn't use hyper fixations and maladaptive daydreaming. Like, it simply wasn't working. And it still, like, I have kind of been able to, for the most part, it, like, for the past year, it hasn't been working. Like, and I haven't even wanted to read, like, fantasy books anymore. Like, I don't want to ignore the fucking shit that's going on. And so instead of, like, me trying to force myself to ignore it, I've been forcing myself to acknowledge it. And personally, that's kind of helped. Like, don't drive yourself into a pit of despair. Obviously, don't doom scroll on TikTok. Don't doom scroll in general. That's another thing. I haven't really been on social media. Like, I know I said that this all started, like, why I wanted to make this was because of a TikTok, but literally, I will go on TikTok for like 15 minutes a day. I will go on Instagram for typically 30 minutes a day. I don't really doom scroll. I scroll through my feeds, like, of people that I follow, and then I'll look at what people have sent me, and that's it. Pretty much. I, like, am never on just like my FYP or like my, you know, like your Instagram, like, recommended page. I don't want to look at that. I don't care. If it's not something that somebody who I follow wants to show me, I don't care. So yeah, try not to doom scroll. Possibly switch out your doom scrolling for education. It will be uncomfortable, but I think in the end it will actually help you. And possibly also switch out your doom scrolling for community service work. And we are not cooked. We'll be okay. And even if we're not okay, we'll be okay. Because I mean, you can't always guarantee that you'll be okay, but, like, you can't dwell on it either, you know? Like, that's not productive for anybody involved. So yeah, thanks for listening to me talk again. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do more of these, and I think I'm gonna make them actual video essay style. And so I hope you do actually want me to get started on a lot of topics, because I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. I have a lot going on up here, and often it can't all stay up here, and so it comes out into my notes app or into, I've started a Google Doc. I've got too much. Going on. It needs to be out of my brain and into your ears. So I don't know. Anyways, I need to get a move on with my night, though. I need to go clean out my refrigerator. I need to clean out my refrigerator. I need to do the dishes. And then I'm gonna read. And then I'm gonna read my book that I got from the library. So, anyways, thank you for listening to me yap.